everybody, my name is Nozibera Kamganamayaba. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new to this channel, please make sure that you subscribe and join the rest of the family. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. We are on our way to 200,000 subscribers. We are about 3,000 away. So please make my first quarter by making sure we reach 200,000 subscribers on this channel. Okay, but anyway, so today guys, it is official. Last Sunday's episode of Yes I Have HIV was the last one. We were wrapping up season 1 of Yes I Have HIV. There will be a season 2. However, I do not have the dates as yet, but as things develop, I will definitely share all those updates and developments of when season 2 will air. So the purpose of this video is just to recap on season 1. Being my first TV gig, I've never been a TV presenter. I've never hosted a show. I've always been more of a guest. You know, come through, we want to interview you, we want to know your story, we want you to contribute towards this topic, but not me anchoring basically a TV show. So it was definitely, a learning curve. I enjoyed it. I honestly enjoyed it. And obviously I enjoyed it because it was coming from the heart. I understood the assignment. I resonated with the stories. I resonated with the show. I believed in the success of the show. So it was exciting in that sense. It was quite funny because the last episode that aired, that was actually our pilot. That was our pilot episode, and I was looking at the episode. I was like, listen, I did not know what I was doing, but I feel like I nailed it. Okay, for most parts, I think I nailed it. Obviously, there are those moments where I was like, I shouldn't have asked that question, or I wish I would have pushed a little bit further. But I'm hoping I'm going to take that forward into season 2. But let's also just take a step back, ne? So I remember, when was it, Kainen? I think it was around about July or August. I can't remember. When I first shared on social media that I will be now, leading this TV show talking about HIV or assisting people in disclosing their HIV status to their loved ones. Ne? For most parts, I also think it depends on which social media platform, you use. And it caters for different target markets. Because I remember on Facebook, for most part, it was honestly positive feedback. People really, excited about the show, excited about, this opportunity for me personally. Very supportive. Instagram also the same. Here on YouTube. Obviously, there's a Bird app. That's the Bird app, okay? So I think it was about like a couple of weeks afterwards where one of the most prominent influencers, he also does like media news, what's on, what upcoming TV shows, we should be looking out for and so forth. So I remember, the call to action for the show, it does not only include the details of how you should write to the show and what the show is about, but Lavi, it also has my picture. And that? Okay, no problem. So I remember this particular influencer and, this media personality taking that poster and sharing it on the Bird app. Yay! I guess so. They went in. So basically what he was saying is, do we feel that this is needed, or it's taking it a little bit too far? It is being intrusive and all of those things. I think if you have followed me for quite some time, I had to quickly adapt to the dynamics of social media, right? I don't want to get caught up into some of the debates, especially when I see I'm not gonna go anywhere with it, or it's not impactful, or it's not engaging. For example, I'll see some of the debates and engagement on social media. I don't mind engaging, but then if I see you're gonna be rude, condescending, you're not going to listen, chomi, you won't find me there. Can't do it, galoko. Okay. So people were, not happy at first about the proposal of the show and the show coming on TV, feeling that it was very intrusive. It was too, do we really need to talk about HIV in 2022? The show is a little bit too late. Already so many things have happened, or so many things have been done in the advocacy around HIV. Yes, it would have been relevant more in the 1990s or in the early 2000s, but now it's 2022. A lot of people have information, so it's a little bit too late to have such a show. People have access to information, but I'm so glad, that we went along with the show. The producers and the head of channel from Honey TV was quite passionate about it, that we are going ahead with the show. I know when Nano Zikala, you are in the forefront of the advocacy around HIV. You get hundreds of messages from people that were diagnosed as in yesterday, right? Got message yesterday that a person got diagnosed and they don't know what to do. They've been following me for quite some time, and so they were like, no, we're going ahead with the show. We appreciate the feedback. However, we would love the opportunity for people to see what are we actually doing and what the show will be focusing on. So the first thing that I did was to actually have an opportunity to sit with the team to just iron out, okay, how are we approaching the show? People are going to write and they want assistance in disclosing the HIV status to their loved ones, but what is the running of the show? So that's when we started brainstorming that, okay, people write to the show, that is character A. We get to understand the story behind the person, their upbringing or their background does influence, firstly, who they're disclosing to and why they've possibly waited for so long. You've seen the complexities between mother and child, mother and daughter. During the show, you've seen complexities between, a child and a parent, why they waited so long in disclosing their HIV status. You've seen also the complexities between, two friends. They know each other, they share everything, but then there's this one particular aspect of them being HIV positive that they felt they could not disclose that to their closest friends. So why is that, right? And what I also try to get through is, where are they in terms of their healing? If they have actually healed, what did it take for them to heal? But I also found that there have been a lot of characters or a lot of of guests that came to the show that are actually not healed per se. I remember Surprise was one of them. I remember also the guy that disclosed to his mom, he considered himself as gay. He was not there yet. There were still things that needed to be done, further support that needed to be given or provided for him to get there. So it was very important also to stress that part where this is not just a reality show. We actually care about these stories. They mean a lot, particularly to me as a host. I feel them, I understand them. When they say, I feel like I've disappointed myself, I feel like I've disappointed my family, I know exactly how they feel. When they say that, I've been wanting to disclose, I've been wanting to tell them, but I just don't know how. I don't know how I can move on from point A to B. I know exactly, what they mean about that. And that's why we stressed the support that was given and provided and continues to be provided by the in-house therapist, Usis Hloni. So I enjoyed the sequence and how the show was structured, and in most parts how we engage the guests and so forth. I thought it was proactive, it was respectful. That was another important thing. We understand that this is a very sensitive topic, so the manner in which you ask questions, the manner in which you engage the guest is going to be important and determine how comfortable do they even feel around you. So I had to quickly adjust myself in terms of that. There were moments on my side where I feel like I took a lot of the stories on my shoulders, and I mean, there's pros and cons when it comes to that. The advantage is that I'm obviously going to be able to understand where they're coming from, right? That's a given. However, there's a thin line once again between understanding their story and sympathizing with their story, but also removing myself from the story. The fact that I did not need to carry their stories. I was not the one that needed to carry their stories. And at first, like the first few episodes, I really struggled. And hence you will see also on some of the episodes that I also became more emotional than the guests themselves. But I think as time went by, as we got more stories, I became more comfortable. And as a result, I was able to separate myself, from the stories. One thing I would like to take forward into season 2, and this is something that I've already engaged the channel on. Once again, so a production, guys, it's very fast. It's a fast-paced environment. We need to get stories. We have like a set date or set period in which you can shoot. So we need to make sure within those 2 weeks, we need to get the stories. We need to shoot within those that period. And I felt like sometimes we miss the details that become crucial in the story of this guest. And I've actually, when I was doing some of the reviews on the episodes, I did say that, we missed some of the key people that needed to form part of the conversations. It came up when there's a girl that wanted to disclose her HIV status to her friend. She was born HIV positive and she got infected from umama, But Yana Mama have never had a conversation about HIV till today. And she's about in her early 20s. And she's also struggling to date. But there's no one that supports her in that regard. So I feel like we needed to have umama also as part of the conversation, right? To say, Mama, let's talk about your journey and how do you feel you've been able to support your daughter? Do you feel some kind of guilt when it comes to Ilanduka or Umdanako being born HIV positive? They needed that space. A lot of the guests needed, there was a missing element in some of the stories that needed to form part, that needed to be included. So I'm hoping as we move forward, we are able to really research the stories thoroughly and make sure that there are no missing pieces. The other thing that someone said is a lot of the people disclose to their loved ones being more parents, friends. That's the only thing that we had actually on season 1, parents and friends. And they would like to see more of like a diversity in some of the stories. Maybe someone who's disclosing to Ilanduka to their partner to see how they're actually navigating all of that. There was one particular story that we almost got from the Eastern Cape. So Usisi, I think, is a nurse, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, is a nurse, has been married for quite some time, has about 2 or 3 children, and she never told Umyenwake that she is HIV positive. But as we were engaging her, it seemed like it was a story that was a done deal, and then last minute she withdrew and she wasn't feeling comfortable or she wasn't ready, and we absolutely respected that. And we had a lot of those where even in some cases, we would think, the story is a done deal. We're shooting on this date. We book a flight. There was another one in Durban who was going to come with her partner. And last minute, we had booked the flights. They did not go. They did not board. Okay, so it's the nature of a production, it's the nature of the industry and the environment that we are in. But we do try our level best, and we are going to try our level best to make sure that the stories are representative and just to provide different perspectives and different angles into the HIV conversation. And lastly, do I believe that the show has been impactful? Yes, absolutely. Do I feel like the HIV conversation is relevant in 2023? Absolutely, 100%. Okay. There's 2 things that I would like to mention. One is directly linked to the people that write to the show. For me, I always think about the courage it took for this person to take that step in seeking assistance, in seeking help, right? And for me, that is already a winner. That uye understandile bana I cannot do this alone. Here is a platform that could possibly assist me, and I'm going to take that. For that, I believe that the show was impactful in that sense. And the conversations that happened, within the show, within the episodes, between, the loved ones, about HIV, about some of the conversations that they did not necessarily, or they weren't necessarily comfortable having, without additional support. And now there was a platform where they could have those conversations. That is another winner for me, okay? And then additionally to that, the conversations that we continued to have on social media as we were watching some of the episodes, for me, I think that is life-changing, right? Abantu, I remember particularly when it comes to Kubanganen, I forgot now this guy who came to the show to disclose to his son, right? And then there was another conversation that came from there to say, what does the son actually understand about HIV? And I mean, this is a teenager. Yeah, what does the son understand about HIV? The son is sexually active. They went to test, but they didn't go to fetch their results. They continue to have unprotected sex and all those things. And then it made parents on my timeline to start thinking, oh my goodness, how do I start the conversation of, sex and HIV and how our children continue to protect themselves? And I was like, yes, this is exactly, what I was hoping. You found relevance in the stories. You saw yourselves in the stories. You found parts of yourselves in the stories. And that is what I personally wanted. And I think also that came across from the conversations that I've had with the channel as well. So that is why I feel like, the show was impactful. We had like several wins, and we are going to continue to learn from the stories. And I'm excited about what season 2 is going to bring. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you are someone that has been watching, the season 1, the episodes, please comment. What was your favorite episode? What was your favorite story? Who did you relate to? What did you think about the show just in general? Okay, I would love to hear from you. And I know, guys, the guys from overseas, we're still having trouble, you guys seeing the episodes. They're still not available on YouTube, only on DSTV catch up and directly from the channel, Honey TV channel 173, DSTV channel 173. However, I continue to just ask what other alternatives do we have in making sure that everyone gets access and see the episodes, in this case in particular season 1. But I've enjoyed myself. I've really enjoyed myself, and I'm looking forward to what is next. And as I said, with any developments that are going to come through for season 2, I will share. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for all your support, your love. I see it, I feel it. Until next time, thank you for joining me. Bye.